to my kitchen. I'm Steve, and on this episode of Cooking with Love, I'm going to be making an Irish roasted leg of lamb with vegetables. Now, lamb is a popular dish in Ireland, and both my wife and I have enjoyed it many times on our visits to Ireland. It also happens to be a favorite in my wife's family. We typically make lamb at Easter time. So it's a very simple dish to make. It is flavored with butter, rosemary, and garlic, and it really is delicious. All right, let's get started. The ingredients we need to make our roasted leg of lamb is the leg of lamb. Now, I chose to get boneless leg of lamb, and as you can see, it does come wrapped in this net to hold the meat together. I prefer boneless leg of lamb. It's much easier to carve afterward. However, you could always get the lamb with the bone in. We need some butter that's softened at room temperature, and we're going to smear this on the leg of lamb. We're going to flavor the leg of lamb with some fresh rosemary that's fresh from the garden, and some garlic cloves, and some salt and pepper. For the potatoes, I have a mixture of red and russet petite potatoes. Now, I'm going to flavor these also with some olive oil, salt, pepper, rosemary, and garlic. And then our other vegetable we're going to be making is carrots, and these I'll be peeling and slicing off the ends to prepare them. All right, well, let's start putting this together. The first step is to prepare the potatoes. I'm going to add some olive oil to the potatoes. And these potatoes have all been washed already. And I'm just going to give them a toss with the olive oil, make sure they're all coated. Now I'm going to add some salt and pepper. And this is to taste. And then I'm going to add some of the rosemary. And some cloves of garlic. Put in 7-8 cloves. And then I'm going to give this a toss. Make sure the seasonings are well distributed. All right, now we're just going to set this aside and let it marinate. The next step is to prepare our lamb. Now, I've had this lamb left out at room temperature for about 45 minutes or so. You don't want it to be cold. I'm going to start putting some butter and rub it in. Next, I'm going to apply some salt and pepper. Now, using a sharp knife, we're going to make a little incision about a ½ inch deep. And we're going to place a clove of garlic in it. And we're going to place a sprig of rosemary. We're going to continue this now. Now we're going to get our roasting pan, and I'm going to be using a Dutch oven for this. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees. I like to use a Dutch oven for this because after the roast is finished, I'm going to remove the roast and the vegetables and then make a pan gravy. And that's optional, you don't have to do that. But to make the pan gravy, we're going to need a little bit of flour and some beef broth. So the first stage, I'm going to put our potatoes that have been seasoned with the rosemary, garlic, and olive oil. And just place it on the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to sort of push it to the side. And place our roast in the middle. And I'm going to add the carrots. And a few extra sprigs of the rosemary. Now we're going to roast this according to the weight of the roast. In addition, I'm going to be checking the internal temperature of the meat to make sure it's done. Now, my wife and I, we like it to be medium well to well done. I know a lot of people don't like that, so I'll include some roasting times and temperatures in the description in the recipe below. I've just taken the roast out of the oven. I'm going to remove the meat to a cutting board and cover it in aluminum foil. You want it to sit for about 15 minutes so that the juices have a chance to absorb back into the meat. I'm going to remove the vegetables to a plate and also cover those. And then I'm going to make the pan gravy. Now the ingredients we need to make the pan gravy is going to be some beef broth. And then this is a slurry that I made with flour and water. Now that our pot has been emptied, I placed it on the burner on medium-high heat. And I'm going to add the beef broth to deglaze the pan. And we're just going to whisk it. So all those little bits have been lifted up and dissolved. The beef broth has come to a boil. Now we're going to slowly add in the slurry that we made with the flour and water. Whisking the whole time. I'm going to add about half of this and just see how thick it gets. And the final step will be to pass this through a sieve to remove all the undissolved bits and leftover rosemary. And if you want it thicker, just add a little bit more of the slurry. Our roasted lamb with the vegetables is finished. We're going to give it a little taste test. Now this is the pan gravy that I made. I like a little gravy on mine. And we also have some mint jelly that we like to serve this with. Some gravy, Iris.
Okay, thank you.
Just put a little mint jelly there.
It looks good.
Do a little taste test here.
It's very good. Delicious.
Very, very tender. Very flavorful with the rosemary and the garlic. It's a delicious meal. And yet, as you can see, it really isn't hard to do. We'll see you on the next episode.